Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commandant, Colonel John Hartley, the staff and the apprentices, may I welcome you to the 39th Army Apprentice School Graduation Parade 1985 and the third to be held at Letchford Barracks. The Defence Force School of Music Band is under the direction of Major Tony Silcock, and the drum major is Warrant Officer Class 2, Kevin Noon, the Regimental Sergeant Major of the Defence Force School of Music. The parade is commanded by Apprentice Battalion Sergeant Major Russell Sams, an apprentice electronics tradesman from Queensland. The school's Regimental Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 1 Bob Clingham, Royal Australian Regiment, and he is the only staff member on parade with the Apprentice Battalion. To the left front of the parade, the Governor-General's banner has been uncased. The banner orderly is Apprentice Colour Sergeant Michael Baker. The Governor-General's banner was presented to the Army Apprentice School in August 1969 by the then Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, His Excellency Sir Paul Hasluck. The design was approved personally by Sir Paul Hasluck and is in recognition of the school's distinguished service. The banner ensign is Apprentice Colour Sergeant Graham Butler. The escorts to the banner are Apprentice Colour Sergeant Darren Hinchcliffe and Apprentice Colour Sergeant Mark Forrester. The Commandant of the Army Apprentice School, Colonel Hartley, and Mrs. Hartley are now arriving. Colonel Hartley will be received on parade by a general salute. Next to arrive is the General Officer Commanding Training Command, Major General Kirkland, who will be received by Colonel Hartley. Major General Kirkland is the school's commanding general. Next to arrive is the reviewing officer, the Chief of the General Staff, Lieutenant General Gratian and Mrs. Gratian. General Gratian will be received on parade by a general salute.
General Salute! Present! Battalion! Shoulder! Battalion! Order!
The Chief of the General Staff is accompanied on his inspection by Colonel Hartley, the Parade Commander, BSM Russell Sams, the Adjutant, Captain Dennis Cameron, and the ADC to the Chief of the General Staff, Captain Paul Simon.
That's up there. That's full.
Stallion! Stand at A!
The inspection now completed, the battalion of apprentices will march past the reviewing dais, first in slow and then in quick time. This will be followed by an advance in review order and a general salute. The advance in review order keenly reflects its original purpose. It was the final offensive movement against the enemy where the colours were brought to the fore. In a peacetime setting, the following general salute indicates that no actual threat is intended towards the Chief of the General Staff.
Attention! 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 First order! First! Battalion will advance in review order. By the centre. Quick! Battalion! General salute! Precinct! Out! Battalion! Shoulder! Up! Battalion! Order! Up! Battalion! Inwards!
The Commandant will now report on the year's activities, followed by an address delivered by the Chief of the General Staff.
Stand easy. The Chief of the General Staff, General Gratian and Mrs. Gratian, the General Officer Commanding Training Command, General Kirkland, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the Army Apprentices School. We are honored today by the number of distinguished guests, which signifies the importance that this unit plays in the eyes of the Army and the civil community. Today marks the end of an extremely long and hard year. In terms of trade training, it is a year in which we have examined many of our courses and changed them considerably to bring them into light with the requirements of the Army and the authorities who allow civil recognition. The school has been most successful this year in this area, and a number of apprentices have gained top awards in the state of Victoria. In terms of military training, there have also been significant changes this year. Apprentices at the end of their first year have achieved the standard that a recruit graduating from the Recruit Training Battalion would have achieved. And apprentices in their second year go on to advanced subjects. Highlights from a military training point of view have been the 2 weeks exercise at Karungra, and of course adventure training weekends, where apprentices have been exposed to everything ranging from whitewater rafting to abseiling to survival training to horse riding. From a ceremonial point of view, the highlights of the year have included the march on Australia Day through the city of Albury, the widespread involvement in regional Anzac Day activities, and of course today's graduation parade. We are particularly privileged to be afforded next year the freedom of the city of Albury. This is a mark of distinction for any unit, and I thank the Albury City Council for their generous and gracious offer. In terms of sporting achievement, this year has also been quite remarkable. We won both the summer and winter inter-service sports against the Navy and the Air Force by winning 12 of the 20 competitions. And apprentice teams have performed admirably in the finals, in inter-unit, and in the local area, in Australian rules, rugby, soccer, hockey, basketball, tennis, volleyball, and water polo. To the graduating class, my congratulations on your 2 years' performance at the school. I believe that you have set a standard this year which will stand you in good stead in your new unit. You have received a broad-based but nevertheless thorough education in military and technical subjects. And you should approach your new posting with confidence and with the desire to continue the learning process. To next year's senior class, you now have the responsibility for maintaining the traditions and the standards of the Army Apprentice School. You will need to do this by example because the 41st class will turn to you for guidance and advice. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed privileged today to have as our reviewing officer the Chief of the General Staff. Sir, I hope that today will be as memorable a day as the last time you reviewed this parade. And I invite you, please, to address the parade and to award the major prizes.
Commandant, distinguished guests, parents and friends and members of the graduating class, and men and women on parade. I am indeed very pleased to be here on this graduation of the 39th class. And I'd like to start by commending you all on a very fine parade. This, for the Defence Force, has been a week of graduations. There have been some excellent parades, and I can assure you that this was one of them. Well done. My special congratulations to the major prize winners, to whom I will shortly present their prizes, and I would like to mention in particular two apprentices. First of all, Apprentice Nutting, who is creating history by being the first female graduate of this school. And Apprentice Nutting is to become a motor mechanic. And also Apprentice Sergeant Smith, who was selected to represent North East Victoria in the 1985 State Championships to represent or to select the Apprentice of the Year. Well done. I now want to address a few words to the graduating class. Each one of you has successfully met the challenge of a very demanding course. Numbers of your body have fallen out along the way. But to those of you who have successfully finished the course, my congratulations. You're following in the footsteps of over 5,000 graduates of this school since it was first formed in 1948. And you in your turn will become part of the school's tradition. Your predecessors have made a very fine contribution to the Australian Army in peace and in war. Over 300 of them have become commissioned officers. Many more have become warrant officers and senior NCOs. And I have no doubt, from what I've seen today, that the 39th class will certainly uphold and I hope surpass the performance of your predecessors. You have now finished this very demanding stage in your careers. And what a wonderful thing to know that you now have the ball at your feet as you move on to complete your training as soldiers and as tradesmen and take your place in the mainstream of Army life. We are a fighting service. Our role is to serve. And provided we accept that ideal, I can promise you a career that you will find hard, perhaps dangerous at times, but varied, demanding and challenging. Get stuck into it, work hard, keep up the values and standards which you've received at this school, and I can guarantee you success. I wish you all good luck and good soldiering.
Now to the presentation of major awards. The first such presentation will be the Governor-General's Medal, an award made each year to the outstanding apprentice in consideration of proficiency in trade training, educational subjects, regimental training, and qualities of leadership. The recipient for 1985 is Battalion Sergeant Major Apprentice Russell Sams. The next presentation is the Apprentice of the Year Award. This award is made to the most outstanding apprentice of the graduating class based on trade knowledge and personal qualities. The awardee also represents the Army Apprentices School before the Industrial Training Commission for possible selection as the Regional and State Apprentice of the Year. The trophy has been donated by the 17th class of apprentices. The recipient for 1985 is Apprentice Peter Barnes and Apprentice Carpenter and Joiner. The next presentation is the Los Memorial Trophy. This trophy is for the top apprentice corporal in respect of trade training, military training, and sporting achievement. It is presented in memory of Apprentice Shane Lose, a 34th class apprentice who was serving with the School of Military Engineering in 1981 when he died as the result of a sporting accident. The recipient for 1985 is Apprentice Corporal Ashley Lowther. Now to the Apprentice BSM's cane. The cane is handed on each year from the graduating BSM to the new BSM. The BSM is selected from the incoming senior class for outstanding regimental ability and qualities of leadership. The recipient for 1986 is Apprentice Mark Eggert. Next is the Andrew Jennings Star Award, a presentation on behalf of the parents of the late craftsman A.J. Star. The sword is handed on annually to the incoming Apprentice Sergeant Major of Alpha Company, the subunit to which their son belonged. The recipient for 1986 is Apprentice Mark Hull. The next presentation is the Paul James Cullen Sword, an award on behalf of the parents of the late apprentice P.J. Cullen. Apprentice Cullen was a 30th class apprentice serving with the School of Military Engineering in Sydney when he was killed in a traffic accident. The sword is handed on annually to the incoming Apprentice Sergeant Major of Bravo Company, the subunit to which Apprentice Cullen belonged. The recipient for 1986 is Apprentice Andrew Prestney. Next is the Albury Sub-Branch Return Services League Trophy, an award made to the most outstanding apprentice of the graduating class in consideration of military skills, including regimental, physical and recreational training and qualities of leadership. The recipient for 1985 is Apprentice Colour Sergeant Graham Butler. The Albury-Wodonga Legacy Trophy, a trophy presented to the sportsman who has displayed outstanding ability, leadership and dedication in sport during the year. The recipient for 1985 is Apprentice Corporal Anthony Wren. The final presentation is the Major G.T. Mitchell Memorial Award. This award is made to the graduating apprentice motor mechanic who, through dedication and perseverance, has attained results worthy of commendation. It is presented in memory of Major Greg Mitchell, who was serving as the Latchford Barracks project officer when he was killed in a traffic accident in 1983. The recipient for this award is Apprentice Martin Dean. are now about to march off. By tradition at the Army Apprentices School, they march off in slow time through the ranks of the remaining apprentices, who will present arms as the graduates leave the parade ground for the last time. Graduates will be accompanied by the Army Apprentices School Drum Corps under the command of Apprentice Drum Major Robert Porter. We ask you to stand as the banner is marched off the parade ground.
Cannon! Attention! Cannon! Shoulder! Up! Graduating class, move to the right in 3. Right! Turn! Supernumerary, take post! finance off. What finance off, man? Hey, Charles.
Oh, one's fine, one's fine.